can get closer up photo. And let's do 10 DDDO. How many shell casings did you locate and mark and photograph?
A total on the scene, that's what you want? It was a total of 41 shell casings.
Okay. For efficiency purposes and time purposes, in this photograph, when it states it's 10 DDDO, do you see all 41 placards?
Oh, no, they're not all. Well, there majority of there, but they're up on the hill. They're scattered on the hill as well.
And can you describe to the jury, you said up on the hill. Are we talking to, I guess,
Yeah.
you're looking at it, there we go.
Yeah.
It states it at 11 DDD?
Yes, yes.
And you said each one of the shell casings, it was 41?
Well, 43 markers, total 41 shell casings, 2 projectiles, I believe. That was.
Okay. And were they all of the ballistics evidence you just described contained within the area which we're seeing here at 11 DDDO, which building 15, 16 through area 19?
Yes.
Okay. And you mentioned 2 types of things that you marked and collected. You said shell casings and projectiles. What is the difference between a shell casing and a projectile?
Okay, the shell casing is the actual casing that is ejected out from the firearm. It's the little silver shell. The projectile is actually the bullet that goes out of the shell.
Okay. And can you tell the jurors, as it relates to the shell casings you just described, were all of the shell casings that you located found, I guess, outside of the apartment complex on the hill or in the area of the sidewalk?
Yes.
Okay. Now, can you tell the jurors a projectile? What is a projectile?
It's the actual piece of metal that is fired from the shell casing.
Okay. And do you remember or recall where on the scene you located the 2 projectiles you described?
Yes, I remember. I think one was near a patio or near the apartment itself, and one was in an apartment.
Okay, so those 2 projectiles, I'll call it a bullet for layman's terms, were those fired from a gun, I guess?
Yes.
Okay, and you said those were found in one of the buildings, whether it be 15, 16, or 19, either on the patio or within a damaged apartment?
That is correct.
Okay. Now, after photographing all of the placards and the evidence that the placards represent, can you tell the jurors kind of what you do next as it relates to your processing and collection of the evidence?
Yes, after they're marked, photographed, they are collected, which they go into each individual would be like a bullet bag. They're all marked separately in their own bag. Then we take it back to the lab, depending on what the investigator wants. I believe these are sent to our crime lab for ballistics.
I just want to ask you a couple more questions about the packaging of each one of the pieces of evidence. Here, the shell casings and projectile. You said you put them in a bullet bag. Does each projectile or shell casing go in its own individual little envelope or bullet bag, as you described?
Yes.
And after you collect the evidence and put it within the bullet bag or the envelope and seal it, do you label it with a specific case number?
Yes.
And is it a case number that's uniquely assigned to the scene in which you have been dispatched to and do what you just described as it relates to photographing and processing it?
Yes.
Okay. And on that bag, we described the unique case numbers on there. After you've sealed it, do you sign it, put your name?
Yes, I initialed it on the back.
And as it relates to what we've seen in the photographs here today of the scene that you processed and photographed, do you put the placard number outside, I guess, on the envelope as it relates to what we've seen in the photographs?
Yes, that's how we determine which one depicts with, number 1, number 2, yes.
Okay. Seems silly, right? It's a
No.
silly question.
Yeah.
Now, can you tell the jurors, do you also put a description of where the specific projectile is found also on that envelope or bag?
Yes, we do.
Okay. And is that something you do for all evidence that you collect in any scene here at 2900 Landham Drive during the early morning hours of April 28th of 2015?
Yes.
Okay. And after you were done photographing and processing and collecting the evidence, did that complete your, I guess, role as it relates to your part of the investigation?
That is correct, yes.
And let me ask you one more series of questions. Before you, I guess, bag the evidence like you described, can you describe to the jurors, do you ever attempt to, I guess, pull fingerprints from either shell casings or projectiles like you described today?
Yes.
And can you tell the jurors, if you recall, I know it's been some time, did you attempt to do that as it relates to the shell casings and the two projectiles that you located and collected back on April 28th of 2015?
I cannot recall on that.
Would looking at a copy of your report help
Yes.
refresh your recollection?
Yes.
And I should probably ask you, did you do a report as it relates to this
Ye-
case?
Yes.
And is that something you do as it relates to all scenes when you respond and do what you described today as a crime scene tech?
Yes.
Your Honor, can I approach the witness with her
You may.
report?
Based on my reports, no, I just did photos and ballistics on the shell casings.
Okay. And can you tell the jurors, based on your 13 years of experience as a crime scene tech with APD, can you tell the jurors, is it common or is it uncommon to locate fingerprints on shell casings and projectiles?
Objection as to foundation.
Well, let me ask you this.
Overruled.
You can answer the question.
Okay, so you're asking me, do we usually?
Ask a better question.
Yeah. Okay.
Poorly worded.
Okay.
So, in your number of years, I think you said 13, working as a crime scene tech with APD, have you attempted to pull fingerprints off of shell casings or projectiles?
Okay, I'm gonna answer. Yes, we process for latent prints, but usually we find no prints.
You were able to answer my bad
Okay.
question. Now, can you tell the jurors what are latent prints?
Fingerprints off the shell cases, basically.
Based on your number of years of experience and your training, can you tell the jurors why you aren't typically able to lift latent prints from either shell casings or projectiles that have been fired?
Objection as to foundation.
With regard to her, whether she
That
has
is correct, Your Honor. She's not-
expertise to say that?
That is correct.
Okay. Do you want to ask a couple more questions?
I can. Through your number of years of experience, have you received training as it relates to lifting or processing for latent prints?
Yes.
And can you tell the jurors briefly a little bit about some of the training that you've received as it in regards to latent prints and lifting them from different types of objects?
Okay, so when we lift latent prints, we use a black powder. Sometimes, depending on the surface, a black powder is all we use. Sometimes, depending on the surface, we would super glue, basically put it in the chamber, let the super glue heat up. It adhere to the prints on the object. Then we'll go in with a powder to see if it raised, if we have a lift, a print, and then we'll use a tape to lift the print off.
And the two methods that you described, whether it just be the powder or the super glue and the powder, and then the use of the tape, is that something that you've done throughout your 13 years as a crime scene tech here with the City of Atlanta Police Department.
Yes.
And can you tell the jurors, throughout those 13 years, have many of the times that you attempted to lift latent prints been off of fired shell casings or projectiles?
Yeah. Oh, ask it again.
Have you, during your 13 years, attempted to lift latent prints off of shell casings or projectiles?
Yes.
In this instance, you said you did not, but you also described to the jurors that it is very uncommon that you get latent prints off of fired shell casings or projectiles. Based on your training experience and number of times throughout the 13 years in which you utilized the procedures you just described to lift latent prints, why is it uncommon to not lift latent prints from fired shell casings or projectiles?
Same objection.
So I think you asked about, but I'm not sure she talked about any of her training. So if you can try to lay the foundation.
Yeah, well,
Your Honor,
painstaking.
Your Honor, can we also use the mic? It's really hard to
Yeah,
hear.
sure. You just have to pick it up, unfortunately.
So let's go painstakingly through the numbers, I guess the training that you've
Yes.
received as it relates to lifting latent prints like we've described here today, and like you just described to the jurors with the powder and the super glue. Tell me about your training.
Okay, so like I said, we go to class. We learn it from a professor, and we do different types of surfaces. Different surfaces adhere different type of prints if prints are left. I guess for shell casings, you want to talk about the training for shell casings, or?
You can specifically talk about the training you've received as it relates to latent prints being lifted off
The
shell
shell
casings.
case. So with latent prints off of shell casings, what we do, we would put those in the super glue chamber because those objects are small. So their prints are usually, if any, which they're so small, we have to have something to help lift it. So they go into the chamber. And then after the time is off, we'll take them out and we would powder each one of them. And then we will look at them to see if prints are on there. Most of the time they're not because the shell casings is so small.
And the training you just described, is that the same training you received as, I guess, a crime scene tech employed with the City of Atlanta Police Department?
Yes.
Okay, and we're going to try it one more time. Now, can you tell the jurors why it's uncommon to lift prints off of fired shell casings or projectiles?
Because of usually when the shell case is fired, when it's fired out the gun, it's heated up. So any prints usually are not, they're resolved within the shooting.
Thank you. We finally got there. I don't think I have any further questions.
All right, is
of Penny
there any
Redirect.
defense questioning for this witness?
Has no questions.
Nope, nope. Okay, thank you for your time. Do you have another short witness? All right, call him.
Thank you.
Okay.
JERAMIE JOHNSON.
You got to speak up for me, Mr. Johnson. Speak to the mic.
Yes, sir.
Where do you work?
Atlanta Police Department.
And what unit are you assigned to?
Atlanta SWAT.
Officer Johnson, can you speak your name into the mic?
Jeremy Johnson.
Thank you. And you said, how long have you been working with APD?
13 years.
And what unit are you assigned to?
Atlanta SWAT.
January 2015, what unit were you assigned to?
Zone 1, morning watch.
And what were the hours for Zone 1 morning watch?
10:30 to 6:30 in the morning.
Speak up just a little bit.
I got you.
I want turn your attention to around 10:57 p.m., January 26, 2015, where you dispatched to 81 Arcadia Circle.
Yes, sir.
Is that in Fulton County?
Yes, sir.
Please tell the jury why you were dispatched to that area.
A person shot call.
Now, when you arrived, what did you observe?
I observed a Charger with bullet holes in it crashed into a tree.
Did you speak with anyone?
Yes.
Who did you speak with?
I spoke to Trevante Turner, Donald Humphrey, and Trayden Crawford.
Without telling me what they said, did they tell you what happened?
Yes.
Now, based on your observation, what was their physical condition like?
Mr. Turner, he was shot in the left arm and the side, and Trayden Crawford, he was shot in the ankle.
Did you canvass the area?
Yes.
And what did you find while canvassing the area?
9 shell casings.
Where were those shell casings located?
They was in the general area of Stanhope.
Do you know the caliber of those shell casings?
It was a .772 caliber.
Now, while also canvassing the area, did you notice any property damage to any other vehicles within the area?
Yes, it was a Kia. It was parked at 190 Stanhope Circle.
And what kind of damage was done to the Kia?
It was damaged, gunfire, due to gunfire to the front driver's side window.
What about any property damage to any homes within the area?
Yes, it was also damage to 186 Stanhope Circle, the front window of the location.
I'm now going to go ahead and publish for you what's already been admitted states DDD Charlie 3.
I'm sorry, 3
Delta.
DDD.
Yes, that's right. Officer Johnson, please tell the jury what's depicted in states 3 DDD Charlie.
It's the Dodge Charger with bullet holes in it, backed into the tree.
And where was that located?
It was at Arcadia Circle.
I'm now going to go ahead and publish states what's already been admitted, states 26 DDD Charlie. Please tell the jury what's depicted in states DDD Charlie.
That's it was a bullet hole right there at the top front window to the right.
And what is the address?
186 Stanhope Circle.
Now I'm going to go ahead and publish what's already been admitted, states 29 DDD Charlie. Please tell the jury what's depicted in state's exhibit.
The bullet hole in the window due to gunfire.
All right. Investigator Johnson, do you know what happened with the Charger?
Yes, it was impounded.
Did you impound it?
No.
What happened with the shell casings?
The shell casing was collected by ID Tech and taken in for evidence.
Now I'm going to go ahead and publish 5 DDD Charlie. And please tell the jury what's depicted in 5 DDD Charlie.
Those were the shell casings were located.
What street is that they're located on?
That was Stanhope.
Officer Johnson, did crime scenes techs come out and process this thing?
Yes.
Did you make any arrests?
No.
Did you prepare a report in this case?
Yes.
Did that complete your involvement with this case?
Yes, sir.
Court's indulgence, Your Honor? Nothing further at this time?
All right, are there any defense questions for this witness?
Thank you, no questions.
All right, thank you for your time. You may step down. Do you have another short witness? No? Okay, all right. How long will your next witness be?
Probably an hour and a half.
Oh, okay, all right. We're going to break for the night. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time and your patience and your attention. And I am going to give you a couple of different reminders today. Your usual one, to not discuss this case with anyone or allow them to discuss it with you, and not to in any way observe or absorb any accounts of this trial or anybody involved in it. And I'm also going to remind y'all that for anybody who might want to vote in the upcoming election, because we are not going to be taking Election Day off, early voting starts tomorrow and runs all the way through November 1st. And y'all should have the information about where you can vote. It doesn't have to be your precinct. It's basically anywhere that's open in Fulton County, and the hours, including weekend hours and before and after work times. So anybody that wants to get that done, go ahead and get that done. See y'all tomorrow at 9.
All right, observe.
I want to commend the state for the efficiency with which the evidence was presented today. Keep it up. All right, you're welcome. Any matters we need to put on the record before we break for the evening?
We'll try to come to more agreements.
That would also make things easier. All right, I'll see everybody. I mean, I would say 9, but every time I say 9, there's a bunch of stuff we need to deal with. So shall I give it one more try? See y'all, okay, see y'all at 9 in the morning.